We are live. Welcome back to the Anthony Spade Reactions channel. You're now listening and watching the Sigma Nation podcast, where I represent Sigma males. Sigma males are introverted alpha males that focus on accomplishing their dreams and self improvement. When I talk about Sigma males, that's what I represent. If you're not a Sigma male and you do not feel like you fit the description, fake it while you're on the channel. For those who do not believe in Sigma males, it is okay for you to exit, but being disagreeable to us over here is going to get you blocked. So today, lesson is going to be two lessons in one. The first one's going to be 7 habits that keep men weak. The second part is going to be why men cannot leave narcissist girlfriends. All right. And this is highly requested. I'm always getting questions about narcissist girlfriends. So the second part of the lecture is going to be that. The first part is going to be 7 habits that make men weak. Now, when it comes to habits that make men weak, if I start to name off traits and you start to become these traits, one thing that I want you to do is work on them, but don't admit them. This is Sigma Nation. So majority of the guys that I'm speaking to are already confident guys that don't get caught in these situations. So a lot of them are not going to relate to it. But far as the Sigma males, when it comes to the traits of the weak men that I'm going to be talking about today, my only advice for a Sigma male is you have to eliminate these type of people out of your life. They're cool online, but in your personal life, you have to eliminate weak men because weak men have feminine energy. When a man has feminine energy, he's going to give you female results, which means that he's going to react to things just like a female. It's the same thing with a woman that starts to develop alpha traits. Her responses would be just like a man. And now we have a lot of women who are acting in life as if they are men. So realize a weak man is going to have feminine traits, and they're the type of friends you don't want around you because their emotions is a liability. And with your emotions being a liability, they're going to always keep the wrong people around them. Weak men are always the guys that are trying to get everybody to get along. So they'll try to get you to be along with one of their other snake friends. And then eventually weak people find themselves alone because your loyalty to one person is betrayal to another. Whenever you're trying to make everybody happy, you'll start to mix friends in together that don't get along with each other. But the nucleus of them would be you. At the end of the day, they will get rid of you because they will believe that you're portraying them because of your friendship. So as a Sigma male, we're automatically the introvert that's moving by ourselves. So if you find yourself having weak friends, they're only going to bring you down. Get rid of them immediately. Now, when we get into the lecture on the narcissist girlfriend, this is going to be a lecture where I'm going to need you guys to pay attention to the psychology of what's going on, because a lot of this psychology, when you have it, it's very hard to break. All right, it's very hard to get away from, but the psychology behind it, when you see others going through it, you have to learn to avoid them. Big shout outs to Keandre, member for 7 months. Oh, he's putting up the memberships to be officially Sigma Nation, $5 a month. Big shout outs to Keandre. All right, guys, I'm about to get started with the lecture. Once I get started with the lecture, the only way to get my attention for the most part is going to be donate to the channel. When you donate to the channels, the colors come up. I stop, I answer your question. After I answer your question in detail, then I get back to the lecture. But until then, that's the only way you're going to get my attention. Typically, my lectures will last from 30 minutes to an hour. After that, I'm going to ask for questions. When it comes to questions, make sure you put a Q in front of your question, so when I'm skimming through the chats, I can see who's asking the questions, and I can differentiate that from the people who are just in here talking to someone else. All right, let's see who all we got up in here. Keandre, Life Wells, and Jay, y'all the only ones that's chatted. We got 105 people in here. Let's go ahead and get it to 105 likes. Let's go ahead and get that up as I go into the lecture. Looks like I got somebody. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'll park all the way the fuck back here. Hold on, bro. I'm in a parking lot where I am so far back in the parking lot, the road is literally almost a mile away from me, and somebody wants to drive all the way back here. But we get ready to get started, all right? He done. All right, he done drove off. Let's get we got 78 likes, 116 in here. Let's go ahead and get it. 122, let's get them up. All right, we get ready to go into the first part of the lecture. It's going to be 7 habits that are keeping men weak. All right, the first one. This is going to be one that a lot of people are doing, so you can't really see yourself differentiating it, but it does make you weaker, and that's going to be making fun of other people. All right, when you have to make fun of other people in order to put them down, that means that you haven't thought about a way for you to level yourself up. You have to realize that when people start to hurt, one thing about human beings, whenever they start to hurt, they blame it on people. Whether even if they cause themselves the problem, they blame it on people. So people feel like if they're going to lash out at someone, then they have to lash out at a human being because the human being is the one that hurt them. So when you're making fun of people or you're trying to poke fun of their flaws, then that's showing your insecurity inside. You're exposing what you are insecure about. And when you go to make fun of them, that's making you feel empowered. When you have to feel empowered by pointing out someone else's flaws, that's a weak link. And the reason why is because when that doesn't work, you become miserable. If somebody goes to expose something about me, what do, guys? I immediately start to expose things about myself so I can shut them down. What does that do? That shuts down the accuser that's trying to get dopamine releases from putting someone else down. This trait keeps men weak, especially if you surround yourself by other weak people that enjoy doing the same thing. One thing that you will notice about men with money, this is why every guy with money is not high value. You would notice about lames with money, once they start getting money, then they're grouped together and they're only talk shit on each other. Do you see a lot of rich people that just get off with putting weaker people around them that look up to them just so they can clown them? You see this all day long. So understand, making fun of people and being weak, it doesn't mean if you have money and it doesn't mean if you're poor. It's still a trait that weak people do to feel better. When you come across someone like this, the best thing to do is if you can't really beat them with the words, sit back and find another way to beat them. People like that make all kind of mistakes. But as long as you're a man, poking fun of other people to get yourself in a rouse, you're going to always remain weak and you're going to always look weak to other people. The next thing is not being accountable for your actions in life. You're not progressing in life. And when you're not progressing in life, you're looking to blame someone else and you're not being accountable for your own actions. I say this all the time. Your mother and father brought you into this world, right? But your death would be based on your decision. And I also tell parents, your child doesn't owe you anything because he's a product of your decision. They were never asked to be here. They're just a product of your decision. So your child really doesn't owe you anything. So when it comes to life, life really doesn't owe you anything. Eli, big shout outs, bro. Welcome to Sigma Nation. Life doesn't really owe you anything. And there's so many people that are standing still, analyzing, collecting knowledge, trying to figure out how to make a move to keep from failing, and it keeps them standing still. So when they don't get the results they want out of life, you're looking to put the blame on someone else. No, in life, you have to be accountable for every single thing you do. Every single decision that you make is up to you. You decide who sticks around. Desiree Ellsford, big shout outs. She became a Sigma soldier. Big shout outs. You have to be accountable to your friends. I say it a lot. I don't have friends unless these friends are in the same direction as me. If you're not into cars and you're not into car meets, you're not into YouTube and you're not into music and you're not into art like I am, I'm not going to be your friend. I am accountable to everybody that's in my life because I'm accountable for every action that I take. There's no reason for me to have useless friends that I talk to once a year, twice a year. I'm not calling somebody to check on them and make sure that they're okay. I don't do none of that. If you're not in the path that I am going in life, I'm not going to be your friend. I don't care how long we have known each other. You have to be progressing in life. People who don't want to take accountability to their life and they're not progressing in life, they keep the same friends for years at a time. I can guarantee you, if you've had the same friends for the past 6 years, you're probably still making the same amount of money, living in the same house, and living day to day. That's it. You and your friends see each other every day, and y'all just like each other photos on fucking Instagram to make each other feel better. You're not progressing. Be accountable to your actions. Tell yourself, I'm not where I'm at right now in life because I haven't gotten the fuck up and did anything with it. I haven't chased my dream. I haven't researched where I want to go. I haven't taken that next step. I didn't walk outside today. I didn't go to the park today. I didn't go to the gym today. I ate fast food today. Take accountable to your life because when it's all said and done, you're the only one that's going to be responsible. A weak person is going to sit around, be lazy, be angry, and find faults into others. That's your life. When your life becomes that, people are not going to care about you in life. Next thing you know, all your friends are drug addicts. All your friends are drunks. All your friends are the losers in life that look at people that went through the grind and you say, they think they're better than me. There's a reason why certain people, when you walk into certain places, people automatically start treating you like shit because you look like it. Your energy is it. But you've tricked yourself into thinking that you're important. That's the one thing that weak people do. You get so weak that you start to feel entitled that someone's supposed to treat you a certain way. Someone's supposed to act a certain way around you. No, you have to be accountable. As a Sigma male, when you have friends that are not accountable for their actions, you have to get away from them. You cannot be the guy that has your life together, but you hang around your bummy friend who always has baby mama drama, who's always in and out of job, who may smoke weed, who always has a lot of shit going on. You cannot be accountable and then be around unaccountable people because technically you are who you roll with. So you must realize not being accountable is a weak man's trait. A strong man being around a weak man, that weak man will eventually weaken you. Still has to sharpen steel. Stay away from unaccountable people that's not progressing in life. Understand that. And that's nothing against somebody that's staying in the same spot. It just means you need to find a way to get ahead. You are not supposed to be stagnant in life. Stagnant people are miserable people and eventually become drunks and drug addicts and losers. That's facts. And I can say that because this is Sigma Nation and you guys are supposed to already be on your shit because that's what we represent. All right? You got any friends like this, get away from them. Next, running from failure. The biggest losers in life are the ones that's so afraid to fail that they don't even try. Okay? You have to understand. 95% of people are going to do this. You know why? Because it's too comfortable being a loser. It's too comfortable playing victimizing because that's the default of life. If something doesn't happen to you, find fault. It's easy to find someone else that can look at someone else and point out their flaws too. This is how niggas trap each other in. Crab in the barrel mindset. You try to get out, they pull you back in. Why? They make it comfortable to be a loser because everybody is running away from failure. You cannot run away from failure. Denzel Washington said it best. If you're not failing, then you're not even trying. But you guys love listening to motivational speeches. You love listening to motivational quotes. You like watching or listening to those speeches where they got people in the gym going back and forth. They running down the streets. The words are coming across the screen. Y'all like to watch those things, right? But here's the trick. Here's the trick. Every success story started with failure. Whenever you hear someone gives a speech, they start off with their failures. They start off first with telling you what went wrong with their life, why they were miserable, why they were depressed, why they were down on their luck, and then the motivational speech builds up to where they're at now, and then people turn around and recite them. So you have to understand this. You like listening to it, but you don't like applying it. Those who do not like applying it and chasing the dreams are weak. Why? Because it's easy to talk it, it's harder to walk it. People that spend too much time talking normally just keeps talking themselves into a hole. You just keep talking like you know everything. You keep talking like you're smart, right? But you keep making decisions like a dumb nigga. Example, you have a lot of women out here, right, that think that they're smarter than the next woman. Every woman thinks they're smarter than the next woman. But if Patrice, the college grad, ends up in the same spot as Shaniqua, who didn't finish high school, then both of you are still dummies because you made the same decision as her. So if you're a smart woman that you claim and you end up a baby mother struggling on welfare, but Shaniqua, who never graduated, she ends up the same way as you, y'all end up in the same positions in life, it's because you made the same damn decisions. You're not better than her because you think you're different. Society gives you a clear view of who you really are. So you have to understand, there's so many people that are running away from failures. All they do is find themselves lodged inside of a group of people that's ready to be manipulated. Like, for instance, with the election coming up, let's see what black get killed by a cop this time and how they transition it into protesting. The ones who have no life, y'all are the ones that are sitting back waiting for a protest to start, because now you can play victim. Now you can play all these other things. Why? You ran away from failure your whole life. If you run away from failure your whole life, you know what you're going to do? You're going to become lottery players. And then you're going to be get quick scheme artists. That's what happens when you run away from failure. Now you find yourself in pyramids. Now you find yourself, hey, what stock can I go and I just get rich tomorrow, Aunt? You become that guy. You become the lottery player. Every day you playing the damn lottery trying to win. This is what happens when you run away from failure in life. You risk things that are not that risky. But if you learn to take a bigger risk, then you get further in life. Stop choosing comfort. It is so comfortable to do nothing because it's not required and there's no accountability to it. All right, next, siding with the majority. Siding with the majority and not thinking for yourself. Now you have blue pill and now you have red pill. All right, the red pill is knowledge. And I really get sick of people acting like the red pill is a movement. The red pill is not a movement. The red pill is the knowledge that's out there, the woken knowledge that you never paid attention to. You could be a blue pillar and listen to red pill stuff. You could be a person that's not even in this community and listen to the red pill stuff, and it makes quite a bit of sense to you. Sigma is just a mindset. So what people have to understand is siding with the majority is a weakness. Twan, big shout outs, bro. He says, well said. I really appreciate that, my man. Siding with the majority is a weak trait, because siding with the majority is bot shit. It means that you're under someone else's control. For instance, the people that line up in line to go get Apple phones, you got to cut them off. The people that standing in line trying to get Jordans, you got to cut them off. The people that stand, like when people got the stimulus check, if you have friends that stood in the line at Gucci and all these other stuff, you got to cut them off. When people are showing you that the massive groups can be manipulated to go in the wrong direction, you have to leave that alone. But everybody connected to that, you have to cut them off completely. Like I told you, when that George Floyd shit kicked off, and I seen it, I seen the Antifa, I seen the George Soros shit, I seen how they was manipulating the crowd. I'm like, yo, they're really using black people. They don't turn this nigga into a martyr. And you saw how everybody changed immediately, just to find out years later it was a lie. Just to find out the vid was just a lie. Just to find out all that was just a lie. Everybody that followed it, you damn near got to cut them the fuck off. Because they're already showing you that their brain is not focused. So these are weaker people. When you start seeing people move along with the masses and they're not thinking for themselves and they become divided, you got to cut them off. When you're dealing with feminist women, you have to cut her off. That's a movement that doesn't even correspond with reality. What do I mean? Are men and women equal? Yes. But women don't take their cars to feminist mechanics. They don't do it. Whenever it comes to the tough stuff, a woman's going to always revert back to a man to get it done. She don't call up, they don't go to war and ask to go front line. And by the way, they just started letting women go to war in 2021 for guys out there that think you're proving me wrong when I made a statement that women don't go to war. They just started in 2021. So you have to understand, we live in a life where feminism is only good for debates because women are not living it out in real life. They're not. They're not going to go get the tough jobs. They're still doing the same shit that they've always been doing, but they're putting up a good fight. So guess what? When girls, you go on a date with girls and she talking about some women empowerment and that, cut that bitch off. Leave her alone. She is under mental scrutiny. That's a weak person. She's going to be loud. She's going to be a liability to your emotions. That's the whole point of cutting weak people out of your life. It's because when you get your life together, you can't allow emotional people in there because they're going to shake you up. So when you have someone following the social standards, following what everyone else is doing, cut them off. And if you the person that's doing it, you better not get in my chat and tell me you the one doing it. You better fake it and you better start changing your life up. Big shout outs to Spiritual Alpha. He said, salute, Spade. Big shout outs, bro. David G. Zachary sent $5 on the Cash App. Really appreciate you, my man. He gave me a 100 for that. Thank you, bro. All right, the next one. And this is one that Keandre asked about yesterday. Weak body language. All right, weak body language is something that's holding a lot of men back. It's walking around looking like you're fucking Frankenstein, ready to be told to do something like a damn slave. Or you sitting somewhere uncomfortable. Or you laid back all zesty and shit. You got a lot of niggas now that are zesty. They start sitting down, crossing their legs and shit, and flicking their shit back like they motherfucking women. Women see that stance and it's an automatic turn off. Sitting up looking like you scared, that's an automatic turn off. Men have to learn to have good posture. Your body language says everything. I hate when I see people that's damn near John Coffey type motherfuckers. Y'all remember the Green Mile John Coffey? A big muscular black dude, but had the whole soul and spirit of a little kid. That's how it is now. A lot of these guys, you put off an image that's totally different than your body language. Your body language says I'm frail. Your body language says I'm scared. Your body language says a lot of stuff. Your body language has to stand strong. And when people see you walking and talk a certain way, they're going to treat you that way. You know how many muscular... Go to Atlanta right now. You're going to see so many muscular, masculine, in shape black dudes, right? You're like, damn, they look like football players. But when they walking with a damn twitch. You're going to be like, this nigga walking like he got on heels. But he don't have on heels. But he's walking like he got on heels. See, there's a big difference walking around with your chin up and you looking like you're confident. Then walking around like this or walking around like that. It's a big difference. Your body language says everything. This is why you got to correct a whole bunch of shit in your life. And it all starts with picking your head up. Learn to pick your head up and walk. Too many people are walking with their head down because you're already used to it being like that. Well, it starts to fuck up your posture. Now you got people walking around like this and their posture's all fucked up and you're unattractive. It's the same thing like if you sleep with you learn to sleep with your mouth closed, it'll start straightening out your face and then you'll start to look more attractive. If you snore and sleep with your mouth open, it's going to start making you look unattractive during the day because it's going to make you appear to have a wider face. I had to correct that. That's why I'm telling you. So understand your body language, not just your body language. Handshakes, eye contact, that says everything. The eyes see through the soul. The more experiences that you get in life, the more you're going to be able to look at a person's eyes and see through their soul. That's a secret that women have. That's why they use them eyelashes. You guys ain't even catching on to that. A woman can look through a man's eyes and control him. Why you think they're always trying to make eye contact? Why you think there's always guys like, hey man, she with her girl looking at me. She walked past, she stuck at me. I looked over, she seen at me. That's manipulation. When women can stare at you in your eyes, it's manipulation. They're showing their strength. T-Bird with the $2, big shout outs, bro. He says with the facts. Exactly. You have to understand that. You have to be able to look at a woman in her eye and let her know, oh, the eyelashes ain't working with me, sweetheart. Don't even shake her hand. Give her a pound and walk off. A woman's going to look at you in your eye and she's going to be able to see through you. All right? Your eye contact has to be superb. Guys, weak men, you're afraid to make eye contact. Even with men, you're afraid of it. Regular dude is definitely back in the building. He says, I can see a weak man when he don't even look at you. Exactly. He said, you can see a weak man even when they don't look at you. Exactly. Big shout outs to Regular Dude. We missed you yesterday, bro. But he's absolutely right. Your eye contact, your handshake is going to say a lot about you. Once people know that you're weak, their approach to you is going to be totally different. The way they talk to you is going to be totally different. If a guy comes up to me and shakes my hand, spouts me up, but never looks at me in my eye, I know he been talking behind my back. We good, bro. So you got to understand that when you walk around as a man, a woman's going to start looking at you from there, but a strong man is going to judge you like a woman. Strong men know who's weak and we know who's soft. That's what separates the leader from the leader that's going to run you down the drain. Like with me, I'm a good leader. I can spot the weakness of a person, but I can find out what they're good at and put them in that position. You'll notice a lot of businesses, every Indian wants to be a chief, but a good boss knows what the employee is good at and put them in certain charge of certain things that they're going to excel at because they can read through that. So understand, you have to learn to have your eye contact, your handshake, your movements in life have to be different. This is why you have to get in the gym. Start correcting those bones. Go through your chiropractor. A lot of you guys out here, your posture is bad because you sleep on a bad bed. You're slouching when you drive down the road. Y'all see my seats are always up. You slouch when you're at home in your seat. You slouched at your computer desk. So now when you get up and walk around in real life, you just look like a sloppy ass person walking like a fucking monkey or you're fucking limping. Orgy King with the $20. Big shout out. He says, hearing you before working out gets me hyped up. Salute to you. Big shout outs, bro. Really appreciate that, my man. So understand, get your posture up. And speaking of the gym, learn to do a lot of squats. That's going to build up your whole core of a body and have you walking real masculine just by doing squats. Regular Dude's back in it. He said, yeah, I work 12-hour days. Definitely miss y'all. Big shout outs, bro. We still gave you a shout out, though. Everybody was showing love, even though you weren't here, my man. Atlas 93 in the building. Enos is probably next. All right, so understand your body language, your eye contact, your shaking of the hand. That does a lot to a woman. Next time a woman's staring at you, stare at her back and say, hey, what are you looking at? Do that. You have to realize women will get you with eye contact. You make eye contact with them, they're going to see through your soul. You go through the strip club right now, that stripper going to look at you dead in her eye when she talking to you and tell you she a nurse when she putting her hand around you. But that's all just to keep you in tune with her so she can take your money. Once the money goes into the little strap around her leg, she gonna wink her eye and spin over and go to the next guy and do the same shit. So understand, a woman's gonna get you with eye contact. You show weak eye contact, you're good as food, not to her, to another man as well. Next, wasting your teens and your 20s doing nothing. You have to understand, you cannot waste your younger years. And this is what keeps men weak right now, I'm telling you. In your younger years, and I'm specifically speaking to 18 through 25, maybe 18 through 30-year-olds right now, you cannot waste your time on video games. Studies have shown the longer you sit in the house, the longer you go nowhere and you play video games and exercise yourself mentally, the weaker the structure of your body becomes because there's not enough blood flowing through your body to strengthen up your bones. So your body starts to become frail. You cannot waste your time in your teens and 20s doing nothing. You cannot do that. That's doing nothing but weakening you, and it's making you more frail. Once the body get frail, then the brain will start getting frail. Once you're frail, then you're just going to be scared of everything. There's too many guys now, you're scared of everything. Why? Because you wasted your teen years doing nothing. You have to do stuff. Big shout out to Keandre. You have to get up and do things with your life. You have to get that moving. You have to get active. See, when I say this, right, it's kind of brain dead to a lot of guys. What you don't understand, when I was coming up in the 80s and 90s, there were no cell phones. There were no smartphones. We had to go outside. We had to go play football. We had to go bike riding in trails. We had to go discover life. You had nothing but groups of kids hanging out. And from there, you learned to be tough. You learned to get along in life. Sometimes we would take bike rides across to the other town. Back when football was really big, and you go from every Friday, you're at a different high school stadium meeting different people that you never saw before in your life. That's the time you had to pick up women. The only time we got new women is football season and basketball season, when you're following the school buses to the next high school to go play basketball or football, and they were your rivalries, and you started meeting women that way. Okay, we had to get outside and do stuff. So we became quite tougher. Nowadays, guys don't go outside no more. You don't go play football. You don't do anything active at all. Everything is in the matrix. Your whole life is in the matrix. Your entertainment is in the matrix. Your life is in the matrix. Your friends are in the matrix. If you want women, you go to the matrix. That's the only place that a lot of you guys in your teens and 20s are doing. You're standing still. Your life is just leaving an imprint in your seat. That's it. You're changing up your gaming seat more than you're changing up your shoes. Project Gameplay, big shout outs, bro. Really appreciate it. So you have to get up off the video games for a little bit, and you have to start doing active things. You see a lot of gamer, geeky dudes that are on TikTok that are starting to lift weights now, that are trying to get big and bulky, that are trying to live out that dream in reality. You guys have to start doing that, because if you create a lazy mindset in your 20s and in your teens and 20s, your 30s is going to be rough. 40s, forget about it. Go find a church to go to. Find some fat chick you can live off of. That's going to be left for you. That's what it's going to be. You have to make yourself physical something, so your blood starts to flow throughout your body different, and then your brain starts to think different. Do not waste your time in your teens and 20s. That phase is very valuable, because that's the phase that's keeping majority of these guys weak now. Is when they go into their 30s, now you got guys who are 38, 39, 40 years old. Y'all sitting online arguing with little 13-year-old boys. That shit ain't cool, bro. That's making you weak as a man. If you're going home playing Madden and the dude that's talking shit to you is 7, rushing, fucking up your emotions, something is wrong with you, bro. And that's where we're living in. We're living in a world where these guys can easily be frustrated because they're pretty much stuck inside the matrix. Do not waste your teens and 20s. Those are the years that you start to build up character. Those are the years that's going to set the mark for the rest of your life. All right, next. You're not doing enough with your time. Pretty much. You're not moving with time. Big shout out to my man Spider Ninja. I know he changed his name, but I forgot. Big shout out to my man Ninja. Like he said, you can't move with the clock. You got to move with time. You guys are watching time every day, and you're moving with the clock, and you're judging how much time you have left in the day for what you're going to do, and you still don't end up doing nothing. You have to move with time, which means that you have to wake up every day and understand that the world is going to continue to move. You die right now, they're going to continue to move. There's nobody thinking about the person that died yesterday. There's nobody thinking about the person that died 2 weeks ago. They family member who can't move on with their life, they may be the one that's affected by it, but the rest of the world is going to go on. So regardless of how you feel inside, regardless of how your emotions are, the more miserable you are, the more depressed you are, the more you're going to be entitled for attention you are. But guess what? The world don't give a fuck about someone who ain't made something of themselves. So if you want to be noticed and appreciated in life, you have to start doing things with your time to create a life. You have to create your life. By the time people realize that your life is in your hands, it's normally too late. You're like 45, 50 years old trying to figure it out. I hate coming across people that age asking me advice on how to be success. I tell them this, nigga, it's time to go be a deacon of a church. It's too late, bro. The mentals that it takes to be successful, it's best you start building that up as a young person. You're going to get a lot further, because if you keep looking at the clock, all right, the clock just letting you know that your day's going by fast. You may feel better, but time says if you moved on a lot. That's where you find yourself 5 years later still doing the same shit and you still got the same friends. I'm going to say it again. If you don't had the same friends for the past 5 years, you have not went nowhere in life. All right? Any of these traits that I just named today, that's the last one I'm going to talk about. I ain't got nothing else on this lecture. I'm about ready to go to the next lecture. If you have any of these traits and you here in Sigma Nation, you better fake like you ain't got these traits and get out there and start working on them. As a Sigma male, if you know anybody with these traits, get away from them. And the reason why you got to get away from them is because you got to constantly keep adjusting with life. Everybody ain't going to make it to the top. It's not. Everybody ain't going to be happy. Everybody ain't going to get there. Everybody is not. And you got to realize there's no stamp on how much money you get to be happy. There's no certain blueprint for happiness. But you, as long as you're trying and you stay repetitive, like Will Smith says, as long as I have a dream and I put in my 10,000 work hours, I'm going to be successful. You got to have that mindset. As long as you have a dream, your dream may not come when you want it to come, but as long as you stay working at it, it will come. You guys have to realize, I didn't find a good woman till I was 38 years old. But you got to realize too, I didn't know YouTube was my calling till I was 36 years old. So you got to realize is that I've had plenty of jobs that made me a lot of money, but this was my calling. Sometimes you never know when it's going to land on your lap. You just got to be prepared for it when it's come, but you cannot be afraid to go for it. It's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of overthinking, and it's not meant for everybody. But sitting at home doing nothing, it's loser talk. You're only setting yourself up for misery. Big shout outs to Tiger Brad, Ninja Storm with the dollar. Really appreciate it, my dude. All right, we're going to go into the next lecture immediately. I'm not going to really take any questions now. You guys save your questions with 37 minutes. Now I'm about to go into the next lecture, which is a highly requested one. All right, definitely. You guys are doing good on the likes. Definitely give me some donations. You know how it is out here in the donations. I keep it going. Feel what I'm saying? Marco Falzon says, we men need to overcome our emotions. You're exactly right. Men are just in an emotional state right now. And believe it or not, as much as we hate it, we have to understand how we got here. Men didn't wake up and was just magically weak. That didn't happen. It was orchestrated. All right? They planned this. This was a plan of action. It started when you were a little kid. It started with the cartoons, and it started to build up over time. In order to change the generation, you have to start building the kids up earlier in life, which is why so many people will be voting for Trump, because Trump already told you, when I'm getting in, all that goes out the door. So as long as we can say all that to go out the door, and you'll start seeing some changes with the next generation. So a lot of guys out here who are weak, it's kind of not your fault. And the reason why it's not your fault is because a lot of parents were just going along with the program because they were bots. This is why parents were believed you should have a kid. And a lot of parents who don't have dreams, who don't have ambition, the default of that is having a child. So women will have a child because they don't have a dream and they want something to do and they don't want to go out as a loser. So women would start having kids. The problem is they started having kids. The family structure wasn't there. Both were working. Mom and dad were working. All right. As mom and dad work and they're stressing at their jobs, trying to keep their job, trying to pay the bills, save up, and do things as a family, they couldn't deal with the stress of children. But they still love children. That's where technology came in. Parents were getting home from work and they were just putting their kids in front of computers. The more they put the kid in front of computers, the less stress it gave to the parents. So it made parenting 20 times easier when you could give your kids distractions that don't bother you because you've been working all day. Well, you take those kids who've been sitting in front of a computer since a baby and now they're an adult, they're still on the computer, but they're like, man, I really want to do something with my life. I'm getting sick of sitting in my room. It's kind of like now the parent doesn't know what to do because the parent hasn't been taught, has disconnected from the child. But it's going to get to the point where the parent's going to say, hey, you got to go be an adult now. I haven't taught you to be strong, but you got to figure it out. I haven't taught you how to get a job. You got to figure it out. I haven't taught you how to be successful. You got to figure it out. Parents are pushing kids into the wolves of world with no experiences because all of their experiences are online. This is why people are weak. They're fragile to society. The parents don't get it. The parents are just like, oh, they grown. I won't want to keep taking care of them. It's like you didn't raise your child. You stuffed them in front of a fucking computer to keep you from being annoyed. Now they got to come into the belly of the beast and don't know how to survive. That's what's making people weak, is that they don't know how to go in real life. They don't know what's good, what's bad. You have people getting in relationships and their boyfriends are coming home killing the whole family, raping, doing all kind of shit you're hearing because people don't have street smarts because they grew up on the fucking internet. That's what's happening. You're coming into real life blinded. You don't even know who's real, who's fake. You just want to be part of something. Hey, I'm just going to go hang out with these people today. And then she's dead. Why? Because all your life has been on the internet. You have not been able to read a snake. You can only read what people say, what you want to hear. That's how it is on the internet. The internet people only deal with what they want to hear. A lot of you that are watching me now, it's Anthony. We love you, man. We like it, Ant. We love it, Ant. Yeah, Ant for president. The moment I say something you don't like, I say one sentence you don't like, I say one paragraph you don't like, I say one ideology you don't like, it's fuck Anthony, bye, I ain't watching him no more. See, that's what got niggas weak. That's what got the women weak. You only go along with people that's playing along with you, so it's easy for you to get conned. This is why people still getting catfish. How the fuck you getting catfish in modern day world? Why? Because they have no street smarts. They have to follow what's going to make their emotions feel good. What makes your emotions feel good? People telling you what you want to hear. They're not physically showing you what you want to see. They're telling you what you want to hear, and you're following this shit. That's why people are weak. Big shout out to Keandre. He says they want to extradite male aggression programming. You're right, but it's backfiring. It's backfiring on society because you're not building men to be men to think logically. You're building emotional serial killers that feel like they cannot be in reality and that life has did something wrong to them because they're only brainwashed for the Matrix. Most of these kids are not, let's say this is the Matrix, right? Hold on, let me pull, I may have to pull out me a little desk today. Pull out some notes out here. All right. Get my tablet real quick. All right, here's the tablet. The modern world, let's say this is the Matrix. All right, that's the Matrix. And then let's say this is the real world. The world that I live in. I visit the Matrix. And then you have dark web. See, what's happening here is you have the dark web, you have the Matrix, and then you have the real world. Most people in the Matrix that's not familiar with the real world, they leave here and they go over to the dark web. The dark web is where it gets real griggy. Now, the other people that leave, they go back into the real world. That's what we have. Everybody is sharing the Matrix. right? But they meet in the middle right here from the dark web back into the matrix. That's where all the confusion is at in here. You could control this, then you can stay away from this because this is more powerful because this, the dark web, controls the majority of the matrix. So you have to go back into the real world just to keep from getting caught up into these belief systems. This is what's going to destroy you. This is going to have you hating people because people that are over here in the dark web, you got to watch them. They enjoy watching animals being abused. They're watching videos where people are suffering, getting stabbed, shot up, like snuff films. They're watching all the bad shit over there. They're watching nothing but destruction on the dark web because those are the people who are chipped up. They only know bad shit because they have never been into society like that. They haven't been there long enough. So the matrix where we're at now, that's the nucleus. People come here and then they go back into the real world, right? Like with me, I come in, but I go back into the real world. Some people visit the matrix and then they go back into a darker space that gets even more darker than the content that we're saying here. So you got to realize this. A lot of people are completely done just through weakness. They will be hating for the rest of their life. Society has built serial killers that's building up the courage to kill. They're not building up people to make them go into society and live a good life. They're building people up to help eliminate people to make the process faster. But they're also building more prisons at the same time and tearing down less schools. They're removing more religions out. They're preparing for anarchy. They're preparing for it to happen. They're just building up the killers now. Most of these dudes, when you look at Jeffrey Dahmer and you look at all these serial killers, these are the same niggas trolling. The same mindset that you see these serial killers have are the same ones trolling. This is why these stories online are becoming so popular. It's because they're more relatable. When people start seeing Jeffrey Dahmer, it's a dark web of people that's watching that damn show and they say, yeah, we're just like him. Yeah, man, he's doing a good deed. Then you got stupid ass women out here like, we feel sorry for him. People are dumb. They're not even real. Like, a lot of women, especially blacks, you don't realize the guys that are left for you to be with are going to kill you. You just don't see it yet. You think just because you can manipulate a stupid ass simp makes you feel powerful because you taking shit from him. What you ain't realizing is that man's been programmed to kill anything that don't agree with him. Why you think you keep saying all this psychological shit? This IG model ended up dead. This IG model ended up here. He did that. And then you look at the boyfriend, he's weird as fuck. Like, why the fuck would you even be dating some dude like that? Because they think they're winning by getting all the money off him, but they ain't realizing you got a nigga from the dark web. So you got to realize now, as a Sigma male, when you come across these type of people, you got to be wary of that shit. Because that's where the world is setting up. The world is setting up for these introverted, dark web people to get their guns together and start shooting shit up because they're afraid they can't fit into society. That's what's happening, and that's what people are ignoring. I'm going to say it again. You got the dark web people, and you got the people living in reality. Both are sharing the matrix. When some people leave the matrix, they're going over watching animals being abused. They're going over watching people. They got websites for this where people are watching it. And these are the same people in this red pill space. Listen to what I'm telling you. I was a computer programmer in the military. I know people that know people. A lot of these people are in the dark web. Don't get it fucked up. Brian Lonnie says, just read 6 Miles in Nature to continue to strengthen my soul. Now getting a daily dose of red pill. Anthony for president. Big shout outs, bro. Really appreciate that. Jared, 20-year recovery. This is a daily one. He says, sex addiction ruined my life for 20 years. Then I quit all vices, all toxic, and went hard in the gym every day. Outwork everyone, no excuses. You're right, bro. See, I like those comments because that's what you got to do. You got to block everybody out and make a sacrifice for yourself. Remember I told y'all I got to the point where I was banging so many women, I had to ask myself, like, why am I having sex? There's be times you getting head, you just looking at her and you're like, man, just stop. It don't even feel the same no more. Or you know you're going to girls for, you know how many times, you ever watch Boomerang, right? With Eddie Murphy, when he got to the point where he was sleeping with Robin Givens, but he was thinking about the good girl. And he was like, man, I really want to be with the good girl. And him and Robin Givens was about to have sex. And he just stopped and he didn't want to sleep with her. And he realized, like, holy shit, I'm getting sick of fucking this thought. I'm getting sick of fucking this good-looking, pretty-ass girl because it's getting me nowhere spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I went through that phase where I had to stop and say, banging these girls ain't getting me nowhere spiritually. It's not getting it nowhere. I went semen retention in the middle of my prime just to correct who I was. So you have to understand, spiritual healing is something that you have to do. But if I would have knew that, I would have did semen retention at 21. If I would have knew how powerful it was when you do it, I would have did it at 21. I'm being honest with you. A lot of people don't understand it, but I'm telling you, semen retention will change your life. Do not get it twisted. Try going no sex, no jerking off, just straight mental strength training. Trust me, your weights in the gym will go up too on the semen retention. I guarantee you, you start putting on at least 5 or 10 pounds a week of muscle just by doing the semen retention, all right? We about to get into the second lesson right now. The second lesson is why men cannot leave narcissist women, all right? The guy that I'm talking to is the guy that knew the relationship was over 6 months ago, and she just kept dragging your spirit out. She just kept dragging your spirit out. Every day it was like, when do I get out of this? When do I get out of this? I'm talking to that guy that got caught up in a narcissist woman that's bossing his whole entire life around. And the type of woman I'm talking about is going to be a self-centered woman that feels like her needs are more important than logic. That's what narcissists are. Narcissists are people that feel like their needs are more important than logic. So that's the type of woman I'm going to be talking about towards the type of man that just stays listening to her. All right, so the question here is, why men cannot leave their narcissist girlfriend? And I'm going to explain to you why. Narcissists are smart. The first reason. Narcissists are smart. They can actually pretend to be the girl that you want them to be when they think you're going to leave. That's where they get you the most. They show you, I can be the type of girl that you really want. I can act like that, but for the most part, I'm going to act like this headache that you have to adjust to. So a lot of narcissist women, they only adjust when they feel the heat on. When they feel like you may think about leaving. When they may feel like, oh, I think I may have went too far. Let me go back to acting like the type of woman that he likes. They're very good manipulators. They can act submissive when they want something out of you, but then once they get everything out of you, they go back to empowering you. They go back to belittling you. They go back to everything else. But the moment they think you getting ready to creep away, the moment they switch back into being that type of woman that you wanted them to be, all of a sudden she went from screaming and yelling to now, yeah, what's wrong with you? You know how it is. So now she's talking all sweet and innocent to calm you back down. She can quickly adjust who she is faster than you can make the decision to leave. That's the problem. Most guys get sucked up into that because you start to think, oh, my attitude got her changing now. She see I'm mad, huh? You got it, she changing now. No, she's just making you more comfortable before she switch back. So a lot of narcissist women are perfect actors at the right time. I'm going to say it again. They're perfect actors at the right time. You have some women out here, they're just dysfunctional. They don't know how to do what a narcissist does. A narcissist woman is an extremely smart woman that spent more time studying all of your actions while you just looked at her booty. You studied all her actions while she rationed out the pussy. She's studying everything about you and giving you little bits of what you want out of a relationship that she knows what triggers you and she knows what untriggers you. Get those likes up. We at 314 in the building. Let's get that up over 300, all right? She knows how to adjust to being the woman you want, adjust the mood. When she thinks she's did too much, she'll calm it right back down. She'll always find a way to keep you in the loom of her, which keeps you what? Your emotions going up, coming down. Your emotions going up, coming down. A thoroughbred narcissist woman can keep this up for 15 to 20 years. There's plenty of guys that are in 15-year relationships where that woman has been a headache the whole time, and and other men don't see it till he get along with his boys, and he's like, hey man, I don't know what's going on in my relationship, man. Like shit, fuck. You know you got a narcissist when you can't wait to get around a group of guys and start talking about your issues. That's when you know you got a narcissist woman. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because her moods are up and down. You're gonna think you in charge 1 minute, and she gonna remind you that you ain't. That's what keeps men in the relationship, is the love and unlove, connect and disconnect, boss to submissiveness. She'll let you feel like you running the relationship. She may even say, honey, can I go do this? She'll throw some shit in there she ain't never did before. She'll ask you permission to go do shit just to make you feel powerful. You gotta watch out for that. A true narcissist woman is gonna throw that at you. Do you care if I do this? She's gonna try to act like she really cares what you gotta say. That's when you know she's a thoroughbred narcissist. When she go from being a boss to now trying to be extremely submissive in certain cases. Keeps a man locked in. Next thing. She's never, how can I say this? A narcissist woman never believes that you're gonna break up with her. She always believes that she's going to be the one that breaks up with you. All right? You can't leave. It's because when you try to leave, she aims to fuck your life up almost immediately. Windows getting bust out. She going to talk about you. She going to degrade you. Everybody's going to know your business. Even just trying to get away from her is going to be a fucking headache. It's going to be hard for you to leave even when you're gone. She's going to make your life a living fucking hell. A narcissist woman is going to bust the windows out of the guy that's nice to her that she thought she had full control over. That's one of the reasons why you can't leave. It's because she feels you can't get out the relationship until she lets you go, until after she destroys your life. Then you can go when she's tired of you. But if you try to leave her before she's okay with it, where you done spotted her game, you done spotted her bullshit, and you said, I want to get out of this relationship, oh, hell no. She gonna fuck your life up. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's going to be the hardest relationship for you to get out of, because she'll find some way, somehow, to get you. Even if she got to call your job, even if she got to fuck with you at the gym, she going to find some way to put herself always in front of you to remind you that that relationship is not over. She puts your life through hell. And a lot of guys, when you try that first attempt to break up with her and she shows you how crazy she can get, you find yourself staying in a relationship longer because you fear breaking up with her and losing your whole life. That you start to plan out, if I break up with her, maybe I could just go to Mexico for a couple months. If I break up with her, maybe I should just move out of town. If I break up with her, maybe I should just move to the other side of town. Like, you know you got a narcissist when you're scared to break up with her, that when you know you break up with her, you got to be in position to move somewhere else or do something else to change your entire life, go to another state. You start thinking about that shit because you're afraid of the backlash of what she's going to do whenever she breaks up with you. You guys have to understand, man, when you get locked into a narcissist, your desperation got you there, not her. Because one thing narcissist women don't do is go towards alpha males. She don't sit in front of them. She don't try to talk to them. She may argue and debate a little bit, but she gonna get away from an alpha male. But when it comes to a beta male she knows she can manipulate, she's playing for keeps. She is playing for keeps. She's playing for complete mind control. So when you think you gonna break up with her, you scared. You like, fuck, I tried to break up with her one time, man. I swear, bro, I think put a gun in my head. I think she'll shoot me. You start thinking that if I break up with her, she is going to get crazy. So guess what? You find yourself stuck in that relationship. What do you do to counter this? chances are for her to be a narcissist over you, you have weakness. You're not going to be able to strengthen yourself while someone's draining your energy. You got to find a way to get away from her, even if it's got to move to the other side of town. Out of sight, out of mind only works with those type of women. Out of sight, out of mind, and it has to be out of sight, out of mind. When I say out of sight, out of mind, I'm talking a full-fledged no contact. Full-fledged. What that means, anybody connected to her got to go. You got a best friend that's friends with that's in a relationship with some girl she know, you got to cut off your friend. Nobody can know your next move when you're dealing with a narcissist woman. Nobody can know. You know why? Because your friends are going to fucking fold, bro. I'm telling you, you got a friend that's friends with your girl that you want to break up with. He's going to tell his girl because he's weak, and he's going to love the drama too. So don't trust nobody. You must cut her off and cut everybody connected to her off, even if it's your own friends. Listen to what I'm telling you. In life, you have to learn to protect your energy. If you do not protect your energy, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Trust me, the best time is when you're alone by choice. Being alone by choice is the best way to live because you can always put people around you. All right, next, you have a chemical bond. This is the worst type of bond to have, is a chemical bond. You develop chemical bonds with women when she's rationing out the pussy. Let's get those likes up. We got 310 in here with only 261 likes. Let's get all the likes up. You have a chemical bond. Jason Moon, he says, keep speaking the truth. Help the unwoke see the light. Thank you for your time. This is a subject more than men should be aware of. You're absolutely right, bro. That's what I'm here for. We really appreciate Jason Moon with the $5 that donating to the cause. He's absolutely right, my dude. A chemical bond. Let me explain to you how you develop a chemical bond. See, when it comes to a narcissist woman, you like her style. You like her aggressiveness. You like her life of the party. You like how she's everything, how can I say, personality-wise that you want. She's confident. She's attractive. She gets along with everybody. Everybody want to be around her. Chemical bond. We're not talking parabonding. We're talking a chemical bond. A chemical bond is when you start to become infatuated with someone, right? You start to get dopamine whenever you're around them. So this is how guys turn into stalkers. You find a girl you like, and the anticipation of seeing her starts to release dopamine. You're not sleeping with her, just seeing her starts to give dopamine. You're going to school like, oh, hi, Sarah, and you're scared to go near her, but your body is happy just to say hi to her. Okay, that's called a chemical bond. You start to get dopamine releases whenever you get around her. 9 times out of 10, when you first meet a narcissist woman, she's not gonna like you. You're gonna have to work to get her. Majority of these girls that I'm talking about that did this to you, these are women that you chased. These are women that you pursued. These are women that when you got them, then they turned around and started treating you bad, but you chased them at the beginning. Chasing them at the beginning, not getting pussy, not getting a response, not getting that, had you coming back. The more you kept coming back, the more dopamine releases you get every time you kept getting closer to her. So by the time you guys formed a relationship, you're happy as fuck to be in a relationship that now the chemical bond is already set before you get your first kiss. It's already set before you had sex with her because you kept getting dopamine releases trying to prove yourself to her to get her. See, all of that starts to portray. This is why people say when you work so hard to get her, then it's worth the wait. No, it's not. The harder you work to get her, the more you're going to appreciate that you got her, but you're blindsided through your desires. You're blindsided through the fact that you really just needed sex. You thought you loved her, but when she started playing hard to get and shit like that, and you kept working to come back and get her, and she kept letting you get a little bit closer, you got dopamine releases thinking that you was advancing. So by the time you got in the relationship, now she has you chemically attached to dopamine, which means that every time you think about leaving her, your heart breaks. You can't go that long without her. I'm not going to talk to her for 2 hours. That lasted 30 minutes. I'm not going to talk to her today. I'm not just going to call her. That lasted an hour. You got to realize You done went to plenty of your friends and told you to fucking leave her alone. Everybody done told you to leave her. You leave her for a half a day and then you back talking to her. Why? You have a chemical bond, which means you're getting dopamine releases through your body every time you are around her. That's why when you break up with her, you feel like you're gonna die. You cry all day, you cry all night. Every time you think about it, you cry. You ride down the street in the car, you ain't listening to no music, you just thinking about it. That's dopamine. That's a chemical bond. That bond is created at the beginning of the relationship when she's playing hard to get for you to get her, and your body starts to release dopamine every time you're taking another step getting close to her. Most guys cannot leave narcissist women because that chemical dopamine you get makes you feel like you're in love, but it's not love. It's infatuation. And I told you guys, love is never at the beginning of the relationship. Love only kicks in when the sex gets old. All right? You don't believe me? Meet a freaky ass hoe that say she like you and y'all do everything on the first night that they do in porn. Licking booty, sucking dick, all kind of shit the first night. I guarantee you that relationship ain't gonna last. Because at the beginning, it's always infatuation. People are seeking sex partners more than they're seeking someone to be in a relationship with. So it's never love. She dragged your dopamine and releases in because of your anticipation of getting sex with her, not love. Every time you work harder to get her, the more dopamine releases step in. By the time you're in a relationship, you're a full addict to her nature, which means everything she do, you just love her. You just like it. That's what is called a chemical bond. That's where your body needs her. It needs dopamine to be around her because you work so hard to get her. Them dopamine releases is what keeps you trapped in a relationship because you don't want to be hurt when you get out of it. You try breaking up with her for a half a day, you can't do that. You're going to go right back to the phone because you can't go that long without seeing her. It's called a chemical bond. The next type of bond that keeps you in there is called a trauma bond. Trauma bond is damn near Stockholm syndrome. What do I mean? The chemical bond is used to create the trauma bond. The chemical bond keeps you in there, in the relationship. The trauma bond is what keeps you there for 15, 20 years. Why? Because when you start trauma bonding with a woman, the relationship's only 3 months old. But you guys just keep arguing and fighting, arguing and fighting, arguing and fighting, arguing and fighting. Next thing you know, y'all done argued and fought so much, she's won. So now, everything she do, you just go along with it. This when you find yourself, the bitch ass nigga, in front of the crowd with you and your girl, arguing with her viewpoints. Next thing you know, you argumentative just like your woman. You and your woman petty, talking about everybody else. You all up in this nigga's business. You all up Get ready. Get ready.
Get ready.